So, Simon, we find ourselves at the top of a flight of stairs. And today, well, I was thinking, how about we talk about something pretty cool about China, something that we both definitely have enjoyed over the years to certain degrees, and that is drinking culture.
Let's go get drunk. No, we're just gonna chat about it on bikes, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is a tricky one.
It's not something we've never done before.
Yeah, but listen, it's got to be one by one. Because if both of us try, just take it real easy. Whoa.
Nice job.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Just keep it slow and make sure you make it okay.
He's stuck on the top. Go! Whoa! Jesus Christ! It's not comfortable.
Yeah, you did okay. So, Sino, well done for making it down the stairs intact.
Thank you very much.
So,
learn from the best.
We are now going to be talking about drinking culture. So it's probably best if you start out by telling everybody what it's like in America.
Yeah, since most of our subscribers are from the land of the free, home of the brave, you guys know that drinking is a weird double-edged sword. It's kind of like everyone drinks, everyone at least that I know drinks, but there's still a Puritan attitude towards alcohol, and that's kind of reflected in the laws. We have the oldest drinking age in the world, 21 years old. Of course, all of that changes in university. Everyone drinks in school. What is this like a... Oh, you know what?
What?
This was like a really rich area when I first moved to Baijiu, and this is what it's become.
Oh!
Nice job.
Careful of the brake lever.
Yeah. Oh, my balls. Oh, my balls.
Continue
anyway.
on. Yeah.
But yeah, like everyone drinks, obviously, except for super hyper-religious people. But again, it's reflected in the laws. I mean, like, it's kind of a weird thing. You can't drink in public. You gotta be 21 years old. There's no open containers in the car. It's pretty restrictive. And our DUI laws are fairly harsh as well.
Yeah.
So drinking culture in America is definitely social, but it's frowned upon to drink too much. So it's very different than Europe. What about in South Africa?
Well, South Africa, let me say, drinking is really big there, no doubt. It's huge, right?
Yeah.
But it more or less follows British laws. I mean, you have that nonsense that you can't buy alcohol on a Sunday. You know, they lock certain parts of the supermarket up, you know, you're not allowed to actually buy. At least that's when I left. I think it may have changed.
Right.
But it is a very Christian country, so they also have that whole frowned upon thing. But that being said, everybody drinks. And especially when I was in my sort of late teens and early 20s, it was just like, it's all about drinking. Every single social activity that you have revolves around drinking.
Okay.
Pretty much, which is cool. And I'm a big drinker. I enjoy it. I mean, I'm not an alcoholic. I believe that drink is a good servant, but a lousy master.
Okay.
And I drink to enjoy it. But yeah, I have definitely cut down with age. But yeah, it's huge. So let's talk about drinking culture in China. And how about you go ahead and begin?
Well, one of the most awesome things about China, and pardon me if it sounds a little shallow, is actually, you know, the drinking culture here. It's strange. You wouldn't think of an Asian country as a massive kind of like, let's go party and drink. But Chinese people love to drink, especially up north. Now, I've had some absolutely amazing experiences here, and the fact that you can sit outside, like we always talk about, have barbecue and, you know, eat outdoors and sit in those chairs with a cold beer in your hand. It's just, some of the best memories and some of the best times I've had in China, you know, with Chinese friends and, you know, your foreign friends as well, just chilling out outside drinking. It's just awesome. But another thing about drinking culture here in China is it's a little bit different because there is competition and face involved, and I kind of want you to explain what I mean there. Okay,
well, I'm going to say this. When I got to China, I was, in my 20s? How about we go down there? That looks more interesting than this main road.
Yeah, this looks like shit.
I was 25 when I came here, right? And that's kind of right in the middle of my sort of drinking heydays. You have to understand, you know, that's I used to really enjoy drinking, but Chinese culture lends to that because the Chinese drinking culture is actually very juvenile.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know, you'll get 40, 40, 50-year-old men drinking like an 18-year-old does in the West.
Right, binge drinking.
Yeah, it's binge drinking, it's competition, it's like cheers, like, you know, it's that kind of like, I can drink more than you.
Right.
I'm going to prove I'm more of a man because I can drink more.
Right.
And, you know, you want to be part of our group, you have to drink kind of thing. And it transcends into business and everything like that. So I
Sure.
had an absolute blast when I first got to China. Because you go to any business meeting, you go to meet up with anyone, and you drink, and it's all Gan Bei, which means finish your glass, you know, dry glass, and drink to prove who's the man. And I always used to win, obviously, because I was very experienced at drinking.
And that was a huge thing for me as well. I mean, when you are early 20s, coming here to China, and this kind of naughty thing that I grew up with is encouraged.
Yeah.
And you're better at it than most people, and it's a competition, like you said. There's something incredibly satisfying as like a, you know, testosterone-filled 21-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're totally spot on there. But I know of some darker aspects of drinking in China.
Oh yes. Okay, let's get on to that. Before we get into the really dark stuff, though, I just want to say that drinking here is just. It has been, since I got here, it's always been part of the experience for me. It's just being able to relax and have a beer.
Right.
Not to go out to get drunk. And it's kind of strange because, for the most part, you don't actually see drunken people in public.
No.
You know, even though
at
yeah, I mean, sure, at barbecue stalls and stuff, but it's never really like, you don't see people like staggering around in the streets in the
like
day.
alcoholics.
Yeah. Because it's so open and free, there's no taboo. Children can go and buy beer, you know.
Yeah.
There is a legal age limit, but it's never enforced.
Sure.
So anyone can get a hold of drink, and they just relax. You see construction workers drinking beer for lunch and stuff,
Yep.
you know. Don't know why, it'll just make you tired, but anyway. You know, it's relaxed and it's fun, and you can just go buy beer in any shop. There's no like 7-Elevens and stuff, or any kind of little convenience store can sell them, you know.
I actually had students in university in Inner Mongolia drink beers in class, and they just told me it was like a soft drink.
Yeah, I mean, so it is a hell of a lot of fun.
Right.
But the thing is, because of this kind of competition drinking that we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
It can be bad. Hey, how about we fill up?
Okay.
Show our subscribers how it works here.
Yeah, Chinese gas station.
Yeah, all right, so...
I'm full, but you go ahead.
Okay. If they have someone here.
Is there any gas?
Yeah, it says here. Oh, wait, this is...
Zero.
No, that's diesel. That's
Oh.
diesel. Do we have 92 somewhere here?
No.
Is it only diesel? Must be for a truck depot or something.
Yeah, that's all these.
Oh, that sucks. Shungyo, whatever they call
Well,
it.
now you guys know what
Shio.
a diesel station is like.
Okay. Anyway, now we're going to get onto the darker points, okay? And that
Yep.
is, because of that competition thing, alcohol poisoning is a huge thing in China.
Absolutely.
As I say in almost every bloody episode, my wife is a doctor, which she is. And, you know, she's verified for me that one of the leading causes of actual fatalities, you know, and problems in the hospitals is alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, amongst Chinese men.
Yeah, because what happens is you'll get a new recruit in a job or something, and they'll go out for their family, their business dinner or something, and it's all about drinking. And, you know, they have to prove themselves to the group, so they force people to drink until they pass out and then very often die. So it is actually quite a problem. Yeah, alcohol poisoning is a huge killer in China, and yeah, I see people all the time leaving restaurants being carried out by their friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, maybe you can talk about a little bit more of the darker side of alcohol
Yeah,
here.
just include some personal stories here.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of people know that my father-in-law, my wife's father, works in the government, and he actually can't drink. He's a couple drinks in, he's completely red and looks like he's gonna die.
Yeah.
And that's a massive issue for him because he works in the government. So he would bring me along, and I'd drink for him.
Yeah,
That
they
was
can
kind of
delegate.
allowed.
They can
Yeah.
delegate. Yeah.
So I would drink these, you know, Cantonese guys under the table, and for me it was like a little tipple, but for them it was like enough. So everything
Yeah.
worked out nice. But it was a very different story up in Inner Mongolia where people actually can drink, and the drinking
Yeah.
culture up there it's heavy, to say the least. There was a time where I was working at the university, and I was the head of foreign affairs there.
Yeah.
And they brought me, because I spoke Chinese, to a government meeting so that they could get funding for the university. And what happened was, We went to a table, there's about 12 people, and the boss, the government boss, pulled out 2 bottles of Baijiu and said, hey, this is the Baijiu that we'll be drinking tonight. I guess no one wants to drink with me. Okay, we don't have to drink. And he was doing that out of courtesy to everyone.
Yeah.
But for me, being an idiot, I was like, hey, I'll drink with you. And my boss just like slapped my arm.
Yeah.
She's like, no, you don't have to, you don't have to. And that's when shit hit the fan, dude. Like bottle after bottle. I was talking wine glasses at 55% alcohol.
Yeah.
Over and over again, to the point where my world actually just flipped upside down. Like I didn't feel anything. I couldn't hear very well, but my world just spun completely like 180.
Yeah, that sucks.
The last thing I remember is him puking everywhere.
Let's do a U-turn, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
My boss actually like walking me to my apartment and saying that I did a great job.
Okay.
And I actually got a raise, believe it or not. I got
nice.
1,500 kwai more a month from then on until I left the school, no joke.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
I woke up, literally, I kid you not, 36 hours later.
36, wow.
With vomit all over my floor and my pants half off. And I know for a fact that I definitely had alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, but you survived.
We're talking about more than an entire bottle of Baijiu just by myself. It's completely unsafe.
Yeah.
Have you seen any lethal examples or near lethal?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been a part of meetings where, you know, like I said in the beginning, I used to, when we talked about it in the White Monkey episode,
yeah, you're right.
And I had to fly around and drink with all the government officials very often, because I was really good at drinking back then.
Right.
I'd like to think I still am, but I'm much older.
Pretty good. You're pretty good.
But anyway, I would drink often until the other people at the table would be passing out, vomiting, things like that. Like literally it happened about 3 or 4 times where someone vomited.
Right.
And it's kind of unfair because the big boss can delegate other people to drink, so he'll often get his secretary or something, so you know, it's not a very pleasant situation. But I want to we're talking about booze, we should talk about the types of booze.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I want to talk about the biggest problem for me these days is fake alcohol.
Oh, you're right. Totally forgot about that. We've run into fake alcohol a few times.
Oh yeah, all the time. But okay, you talk about the kinds of booze, and I'll talk about a fake alcohol experience I had.
Okay, I mean, like, you keep hearing me say this word Baijiu, right? We're going left to right up here.
Turn right. Let's keep going around this area. It's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I keep mentioning the word Baijiu. That actually literally translates to white alcohol. Now, if you know anything about China, you probably know what Baijiu is, but it's a hard liquor, and it's typically over 50% alcohol. And it's usually made with sorghum, which is like this grass that grows up north. And it has like, I would say it tastes like the way brown paper bags smell, kind of mixed with pineapple. It's not super pleasant, especially for the uninitiated. And actually, a food journal put out a report that it is the most difficult to get used to substance that you can eat or drink in the world.
Really?
With the average of over 300 taste tests before you get used to it.
Wow.
So it's pretty vile stuff. It can be.
I'm definitely not a fan. I can't stand it. I think it's just like drinking petrol.
Although we did have a pretty cool experience. Why don't you tell them about what we did up in our TV show, Conquering Southern China?
Okay, yeah, you said sorghum, right? But when we're in Conquering Southern China...
let's go left. It's nice down there.
Down there? Okay.
Yeah.
Just watch out for cars. We went into the hills of Baijiu, and we found people making Baijiu out of corn.
Yeah.
And there was like an old master who'd been doing it his whole life, and it was really cool. Let's just throw in a little clip.
Okay.
And then we'll get back to it.
One of my subscribers luckily pointed us in the direction of a Baijiu factory.
酒是有生命的，它只要超过40度跟人的地温，它就死掉了。
我们当地习俗就是几乎上都要喝酒的。
The first batch is 70%, then the middle batch is about 50+%. That's the good stuff.
我们这地方他喝了酒之后，他头不疼，你喝多了之后他都不疼的。
Wasn't that so atmospheric there?
I loved it. I mean, just the sort of mist rolling through the windows and everything.
It's like a video game.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Go left and then straight.
Okay, we're going left. Okay, cool. So anyway, let's talk about fake alcohol.
Okay.
Okay, pretty much. Okay, you do get the nouveau rich people like to drink cognac here and wine and whatnot, but the most consumed alcohol is Baijiu and of course beer. And everybody likes to have a nice cold beer because it's, especially down south here, it's so bloody humid and hot all the time. So you often see people drinking Qingdao, which is China's favorite beer, which is actually a German beer. You know, originally, because Qingdao was like a concession port or whatever you call it, like a colony, a German colony, and they set up the breweries and whatnot. Anyway, long story short, Qingdao, because it's so popular, you get a lot of fakes. And it's getting worse and worse. And what happens is people will go around collecting the old used bottles, okay? And then they will actually take the used bottles, clean them up, put new labels on them, fill them up with like a homemade fake brew, and then sell it back to the barbecue guys that have given them the bottles in the first place.
Unfortunately, those brews are typically made with chemicals that are not for human consumption, obviously. And Winston and I have had these a couple times, and I've been down, can't go to work for 2 days after 1 or 2 of these things.
Yeah, it
can be that bad.
And they're sneaky. I mean, I actually caught a guy out. I used to go for barbecue in my area where I used to live. Almost every other night I'd go down to this barbecue stall in this little village.
Right.
And then what they did was they'd give you real beers in the beginning, like 2 or 3. And then when you're kind of starting to feel a little bit tipsy, they start slipping in the fake ones.
Gotcha, so then you don't really notice.
Yeah, but then one night, because I'd had a horrible hangover, like the last time I'd gone there, one night I kind of was paying attention and I saw the third bottle that he gave me, the label was a little different.
I want to go down here.
Okay, let's do a U-turn when we can.
I know, a little secret area. Go ahead. The label was bad?
Yeah, the label was bad and I could see that it was fake. And then when I tasted it, it tasted completely different. I called him out on it. I said, listen, this is fake. And he's like, oh, I don't understand. What are you talking about, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I just never went there again. He wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. Jeez.
He wouldn't accept it. But yeah, fake alcohol is a huge problem, and that also causes a lot of deth. You know, or at least like medical problems.
Yeah, like a liver failure.
Yeah. Okay, but now let's talk about like some of the best experiences that we've had here when it comes to drinking culture. So you go ahead first.
Mine was when I used to ride out. I used to be on my motorcycle up in Inner Mongolia, and I'd go out into the grasslands and I'd find, you know, the kind of Mongolian like yurts and stuff, and also the Han communities nearby, and people would just kind of hang out in the grassland and drink like booze out of bowls and just sing songs and hang out. It was really, really fun, and I really miss that. But honestly, like your everyday experience for me is just the best. To be able to just bring your own booze to a restaurant and have like a really long, relaxed meal, especially outdoors, like at a place like that, right?
Yeah.
It's so fun. I really, really love it. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say it's the friends you meet, you know, the kind of people, like, remember the bikers that we went up to Conquering Southern China?
Yeah.
They basically had their little bar there, and they invited us there and just gave us copious amounts of Corona, which is not my favorite, but you know, it's just so nice. You can make friends, and people are just so they open up. And I've had some of the best experiences drinking with Chinese people here. You know, because when you're sitting with a bunch of guys getting drunk, the whole like I'm a foreigner or I'm Chinese, you're a foreigner thing kind of melts away.
It sure does.
And you could just be friends and like people can just shut up about their stupid nationalism and just be like, hey, look, we're all friends here, we're all having a good time.
It always seems to lighten the mood, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I'm going to give this a very positive rating. I'd say drinking culture in China is amazing, but be careful, you know, what you're drinking, because it can be fake very often, and also be careful of any kind of like company or business drinking venture, because it's usually forced drinking, and nobody really enjoys that over a certain age.
Right, hold on, I wanted to point this out. These people here actually live in these boats, and they actually have mailboxes like with a mailing address, like on these boats here, and they don't actually own property or have any land. So like this dude here lives in this boat, and then they go on the riverbank and just plant vegetables until they get kicked out, and they'll move the boats like on the side after they get rusted out and switch one.
I gotta tell you that your definition of boat is very loose here.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
I would call that a floating shack.
A floating let's call them floating shacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I thought that was an interesting aside for people that can't afford property, because it is very expensive here.
Yeah. So, Sea-Milk, do you have anything you'd like to say to our subscribers before we sign off from this episode?
Whether you're sober, drunk,
or live in a shack.
Or live in a shack. I was fighting for something there. Thanks for the save. I hope that you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep, and I would also like to say that if you do live in a shack, Well, let's hope your future has something better in store for you. But until that does happen, until your ship comes in,
Keep
as
floating.
always, guys, as always, guys, stay awesome.